My dear brethren, I have to talk again. I have to talk short about prayer. We are commanded by the Lord Himself. He says in Matthew 26, 41. Yes, it is commanded to the disciples, but we are included. Uh, we are, that verse is not only to His 12 disciples, it is also for us. It says in Matthew 26:41, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Prayer is very important. It is important activity since the very beginning or before the beginning of Christianity. Prayer is so important. It is our communication to God. A day without prayer, for me, I think it is a day of danger. I think Inbound said, I think Inbound was the one who said, prayer is the key of the day and the security in the night. There are so many good quotes about prayer. Hudson Taylor said, don't work so hard for Christ that you have no strength to pray, for prayer requires strength. A.B. Simpson said, prayer is the link that connects us with God. William Temple said, when I pray, coincidences happen, and when I don't, they don't. Charles Haddon Spurgeon said, I would rather teach one man to pray than 10 men to preach. My dear brethren, our prayer must be effective. How our prayer be effective? First, we have to humble ourselves before God. In 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14, it says, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. The humble believer always accepts his faults. The humble believer doesn't blame others for his mistakes. The humble believer has a servant's heart. The humble believer reciprocates those who have helped him. So, another way how our prayer be effective, we have to be thankful to God, even in the smallest matters. Because truly thankful to God is faithful to thank God even in the smallest things. Actually, every time I saw a candy, I thank God. Every time I take a bath, I thank God for the water. Truly thankful to God is thankful even in sicknesses and in hardships. You are not truly thankful to God if you only thank Him in times of good situation, uh, or in times of uh, abundance. So it truly thankful to God is faithful to Him even in much poverty. It truly thankful to God is faithful to offer valuable matters. He is not selfish. So another way to be effective in prayer, uh, we have to be faithful, of course. Uh, we have to be faithful. Because if you are not faithful, uh, God is not pleased. So in uh, the book of Hebrews 11:6, it says, it is impossible to please Him without faith. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. The prayer of faith is always accompanied by actions. It's always accompanied by action or obedience. The prayer of faith is a prayer of actions. Prayer of actions. Let us remember, because Noah was faithful to God, he acted to build an ark. Because Abraham was faithful to God, he acted, or he had an action to offer even his only son. A faithful man is seen in his actions. Faithful believers, since in the Old Testament they are people of actions. We have to think, we have to remember Nehemiah, because he was faithful, he was a man of action. So prayer must be accompanied by humbleness, by thankfulness, and by action. You have to be prayerful, my dear brethren. You have to be prayerful, because again, this is our connection to God. This is our communication to God. Thank you. God bless.